Hi, welcome new video of mine. As you can see up here, it says Inner Journey Patreon first. It means this video is first published on Patreon and only days, weeks, sometimes months later, sometimes even a year later, published publicly. So if you want to get access sooner to interesting content, subscribe to my Patreon. You'll find a link in the description. So, today's video. We're living in interesting times. You've heard me say this already many times. Yet, it keeps getting more and more interesting. And when I say interesting, you may feel some kind of sarcasm. And yes, I do get sarcastic sometimes. Why, you may ask? I thought you were this Zen master. Well, not always. I'm a human being too. I have my moments of Zen, I have my moments of stress, and I definitely have my moments of confusion, as well as anger, frustration, irritation, sadness, but also laughter, joy, happiness, delight. But in the past weeks, I've experienced a lot of the what we call negative energies and or emotions. They're basically connected. I do not watch the news much, but I do get things sent to me by some people. And I'm also experiencing myself things in my life. And sometimes these things make no sense to me. I cannot see the logic. And the past several months, I've been perceiving life as in difficult times, the universe comes to you with something nice. And it's like having been very hungry, having had nothing to eat. And then the universe comes with this thing, with this food. Let's get very close. You open your mouth, you touch it with your tongue, you taste, and then pulls it out and throws it away. And I'm talking about getting something on your path, even getting to taste it, something that you really desire very much in your life, something you've missed for a long time. And then that's what the universe does. And actually, it's not just the past few months. I experienced it for a few years now. Actually, several years more. Yeah, actually, 7 years. And I still don't get it. And of course, there is the wisdom that says it's all part of life, it's life lessons, it's how you grow, blah, 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 blah. But it's really growing and through a lot of frustration. And it also means that you do not get to actually really enjoy something, because the moment you start to enjoy, life rips it away from you. And then you start to question, like, okay, was it all a lie? No. If it's interaction with people, then these people were genuine. If it's other things, yeah, you literally had it in your hands and then just poof, life took it away again. And you could ask, okay, was it really what you desired at the core? Well, do we actually know that? Can anybody answer that? You could ask, was it really true? Or did it only seem to be what you wanted? Well, if it's something you love to do and it, for example, pays the bills and is with actually with working with nice people, then yes. But then you start it and then poof, something happens that is totally not in your power to manage. Like COVID happened and a main client who I really enjoyed working with had to cancel after 1 month. And we had an amazing project in the making. I mean, we started it. It was a long-term cooperation, which would mean financial freedom for quite a while, for at least 6 months, or probably for a year, or maybe even more, because there was so much more we could do from that thing that we already signed a contract for. But then COVID happened and the client lost his income. So was that my fault? I cannot see how. Am I a victim here? You can call it victimhood. I just see life is happening and I don't see how I could have prevented this. Didn't see it coming. But there have been several things in several areas of my life going like this. And so you start to take time to dig in deeper. Also zoom out to see the bigger picture, trying to see patterns, trying to understand. And when you look at life in general, you start to see how much deception there is, how many lies are being told by so many people. Wherever you look, you see lies. People are living lies, people are telling lies. And then at a certain moment, from this logic of you get in front of you, or life projects in front of you what you have within you, well, starting to follow that logic, then I'm full of lies. Okay, okay, let's walk that path for a moment. Let's investigate that, and then you keep digging within yourself, and you start seeing that actually a lot of things that you have in you are not yours. You inherited them from your parents, for example, from people you looked up to, and of course, time to let go of those things, to be your true self, to be authentic. And then you start cleaning and you realize, like, actually many of these things you already cleaned out in the past. And then people think, but it's on a new level, higher level, or deeper level, whatever, however you want to call it. And yeah, but it feels like being in a spiral. Yeah, but it's not a spiral down, it's a spiral up, and it's open and it's raising to new levels. But hey, it's the same shit that keeps coming back in different shapes. Every time you feel good after cleaning things up, and then up comes again and on another level. And like, seriously, how many levels are left? Yeah, but this is part of your soul to evolve. Like, oh, my soul is enjoying all this crap, but then I'm not. So, did my soul ask me permission for this shit? Or am I just the slave of my soul? Or like in Avatar, those birds that were flying on, they were connecting with them and then make them do what they want. Or like soldiers who are sent into battle because somebody somewhere sitting in his glass tower decides that it's good to start a war somewhere the other side of the globe, with all kinds of benefits coming from that, like making money, gathering natural resources or whatever. And the soul is just being sent into the field and experiencing the horror of humanity, the worst of the worst. And he actually doesn't even know why. They're telling him a story. Like, oh, those are the bad people. You need to protect your country on the other side of the globe. And so you start to wonder, like, okay, all this spiritual stuff, is it just another way to manipulate people? Is it just another lie? And so in the end, you end up doubting and questioning everything, which for some people is really freaky, very scary. And that's why most people refuse to question things, because they're afraid of not being able to trust. They're afraid of the possibility to discover that your reality is just one big lie. And today I had a short discussion with a cousin of mine about one president threatening another one to expose a lie about a big event. And the question is the lie? Well, there are um, many things pointing to that the event was actually a lie, was a setup. But then the timing of the threat could be questioned. The ability of proving that it's a lie could be questioned. Maybe both of them know it's a lie, but then the one who's threatening now to expose the lie actually didn't manage to gather the proof, the hard proof that it's a lie, because the other one would have made sure it's very difficult to actually detect that. Or he will come with proof, and then the others will just say, ah, it's fake. And this is the proof that it's true. And with all the deep fakes that are being made, or just plain recordings of lies, people just acting, actors being hired to play dead people or to play injured people or to play rallies. I mean, with all this fakeness going on, you don't know what to believe anymore. You don't know who to trust anymore. Just like I saw this interview of one guy who said, "Hey, look at these two pictures. It's the same person. It's just a lie." And then, and that person is just alive, didn't die. It's not two people who died. And then somebody else just said, so-called TV presentator, he says, "Yeah, well, it's interesting because if it's an actor, then he played his role very well because he died a few hours later." Says who? Is it true because that presenter said it? Because that presenter actually has been exposing lies before? Does it make it true when he says something now? We don't know. Where did he get his information from? He definitely was not there. He was not on the spot. That I know for a fact. He was not there to be able to say, like, yeah, this person really died. So he got his information from somewhere. Who transmitted the information? And so in the end, I realized that the only thing we can do is to trust from here. Even though your intuition may, even regularly, send you in a direction that you really don't like, but it seems that it's still the best thing for you to do. It's the right path to walk for you. Because I experienced that my intuition lied to me, but it was not just a lie. It was a lie to get me to do the thing I had to do that I didn't know I could do. But only because I believed what my intuition told me. So I believed the lie. I went somewhere and I was in the spot, and there was only one thing I could do. And so I did that thing. And that resulted in something really good. But I could not believe, or I would not have believed on forehand that actually I was able to do that thing, but only because I was pushed into that situation. Then I actually could do what I had to do, also through intuition, without thinking, just being in the moment and doing the thing. So, of course, at that moment, and that was 2013, I started to distrust my intuition, and I was mad how that I could not even trust my intuition anymore. But then later I realized, like, oh wait, it was the only way for me to actually get that thing done. That was really important. Actually, was saving somebody's life. And your reaction may be already, what? You saved somebody's life? Yeah, well, yes. And I didn't think that was possible, at least not in that way, not from that situation. So yeah, I was very surprised when I realized what actually really happened. So coming back to all the doubting, all the deception, the only way forward is to trust your intuition and to focus on what you really want. And it's not that easy to actually know what you really want. We think we know. Most people you would ask would say, I want a lot of money. Well, I give you 10 million euros, which is more than $10 million, by the way. And then take a moment to sit down right now, pause the video, sit down and write down, what would you do with 10 million? Pause now, do it. And then I would tell you what I concluded after sitting down several times with this. I'm waiting I'm waiting for you to pause, because this exercise is really important. Because if you're going to listen to what I have to say about it, I will influence you, and I don't want that. I want you to experience yourself this. What comes up? How does it come up? And it's not to judge you, just to help you actually discover things about yourself you didn't know. And you just need a few minutes. Just start writing it down. And then when writing it down, also write behind, I will allocate this amount to that. Why? Put the whys behind every action. Good. You had your chance to actually learn something. So if you didn't, fine, it's your loss. So what you'll notice is that fear is going to play a role. Fear of, if I have all that money, if people would know this, I would attract all these parasites. I would attract people who want to abduct my children or my partner for ransom. People would come and rob my place. So I will need to build a lot of security, but can I trust actually the security measures, the installations, the people? It's not that fun to be a multimillionaire. It doesn't mean you feel safe. But often we want all that money to feel safe, to have enough, to not be afraid of not having enough food or being able to pay the bills or to send our kids to the right schools or whatever. Fear, 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 and fear is always there. Even if we start working on, okay, I want to donate this money to charity, I want to build this, well, build that. Yes, isn't that because there's also fear behind that? Or is that not the fear like, okay, wow, I dedicate all this money and now the 10 millions are finished, what do I do next? So there's always fear involved. There's always choices, going left, going right. Everything has its advantage and its disadvantage. So it's more interesting to actually have you do a different exercise. I mean, actually, it after realizing this, I will give you a second exercise. And the exercise is I give you a substantial amount per month. After I give you a one-time big payout, the payout being to clean out your debts to institutions, to people, and then or to solve the whatever big issue you have now, like you really need a new roof, otherwise your house will collapse or you will be flooded or whatever. The amount of money you need to just clean, to have a clean sheet, and then a very nice amount of money that will allow you to have a decent home, mm, pay all the bills, but then also have enough to go on holiday, to not worry at all, and to be free to do whatever you want. And if that means spending money on doing something good, then you'll also get from me that extra money. But just let's start by saying you get an X amount. Let's say in the Netherlands would be 5,000 euros a month, or even 3,000 net. And then, okay, you don't need to worry about anything. You don't have to work. What would you do? This is a very interesting exercise. If everything is being provided for in your life, what would you do with your life? So pause the video, do the exercise. Good. I assume you did the exercise. If you didn't, really pause the video and do it. What you may notice is that your focus is shifting from fear to love, from constriction and restriction to expansion, to breath, and from there, creation. You will start to do nice things. Maybe at first you had no idea what to do, but maybe because of what I've been saying already, you want to build something for the community, you want to contribute, you want to help people to raise the quality of their lives, or to help people overcome obstacles, overcome their fears, heal their trauma, whatever it is. And then my question to you now is, why would you not start to focus on this today? And then trust that with your focus being on that, and of course you also working on earning the money you need to pay the bills, you may see that things in life will change. Your energy will change. You will feel better. And when you feel better, you will attract better things. Even when applying for jobs. If you feel shitty, you will not attract a nice job because people don't want somebody who feels shitty, except for manipulative and the extortion kind of people. So a very bad boss who just wants you to be his slave. Those people will hire somebody who feels shitty, who feels miserable. But people who actually want to build something nice through the company, elevate the quality of people's lives, those people will only hire somebody who is in a good vibe, who has a good vibe, who has good energy, who's alive, who's breathing, who's smiling from the inside, not putting a smile on his face, covering his face with makeup to hide the wrinkles, which are proof of life experience, or to hide how bad he feels. So my recommendation to you is to start focusing on what you really want and ignore as much as you can from what's going on in the world and what people are telling you. Because I heard this beautiful thing. This person said marketing is convincing people to buy something they don't need and to pay a lot of money for it. If you pay attention and you see that the biggest advertisers, those who spend the most on advertising, are selling shit to you, shit that you really can live without. So why don't you start focusing on something good? Even the news, the media, they're only showing you shit. 90% or more of what they show you is shit. So focus on what you really want to achieve, how you want your life to be, how you want your community to be. If you don't have a community, maybe you want one, so start building one. Start looking for people who actually want similar things to you. Maybe not exactly the same, but similar. Look for people who have other knowledge and other expertise than yours so that you can complement each other. Doing this will change your life. I started doing that in 2012 was a tipping point. Yes. I was already doing that before, but not so consciously. In 2012, I suddenly started to see more clearly. Because in a breakthrough workshop, I actually started healing a wound and reopened that door to my intuition, the door that was almost closed. I still had some intuition, but it was very limited. But then the door was opened or broken down, whatever you want to call it. And that's when I started to realize I wanted different people in my life, different kind of people. I wanted different focus. And my life started to change quite rapidly. In 3 to 4 months, my life was completely different. Completely different. With brand new people in my life. And the two most important ones of them are still in my life today. And later on, more people came. There were also people who were part of a transition phase, which is totally okay. They were perfect at that moment. And then when more change occurred within me, I had to let go of them, or they had to let go of me, or we just, let's say we took different paths, we went separate ways, and that is okay. And that has been happening a lot in my life, but it has been happening more and more since 2012. Me moving to another country was also part of that. I was done in the Netherlands and had to move to another country, which happened to be Romania. I did not know that before. I did know that my time was coming to an end in the Netherlands. And I thought I knew where I wanted to move to, but apparently I had to move to a country, I mean, the same direction, but even closer to home. And then after a few years, it started to make sense. Why that country? And it was not what I thought at first. It was not what I believed to be the reason at first. Falling in love, falling in love with a country, which is not always enough, because it can also be your holiday destination. And it was a holiday destination that I thought was the country I wanted to move to. But I fell in love with a woman. But that was also a temporary thing. It was part of the whole story for me to actually get my stuff and move, terminate everything I had in the Netherlands, all my contracts, everything, and then move. And was following my heart, following my intuition. Even though I could not clearly see everything, I thought that things would go in a certain way, but they didn't. Things went in a very different way. But having known that up front, I would not have moved. So my intuition was just pushing me, and life was showing what I needed to see to have faith and to keep walking forward. Just like my intuition lied to me in 2013 to get me to that location so that I could do what I had to do, which I didn't know I could do until I'd done it. And even then, I didn't realize it. It was only later that I connected the dots and saw the bigger picture. Like, oh, okay, that is actually possible. That's how it works. So I hope this video, which is quite a long one, I haven't made such long videos, me talking on my own, for a long time. But I hope that this video actually inspired you, or at least put you to think. And I encourage you to do the exercises. I encourage you to take time to let this sink in. And I would love to hear from you what you are experiencing, what you have been going through, what you're seeing, the actions you've taken, and also the actions you want to take as a result of watching this video and doing the contemplation, sitting with yourself and digging in deeper or zooming out. And I'm looking forward to interacting with you and see you in the next video. You can let me know these things, by the way, in the comments or in a direct message. If you do in the comments, other people will read it and get inspired as well. And if you don't feel confident doing that, you feel it's too private, then send me a direct message. You know how to do that. You know where to find me. If not on social media, then on my website. There's a contact form where you have unlimited space to actually write. So, looking forward to hearing from you. You may inspire me too. At least I hope so. Or I'll be just happy to hear that there are more people who actually are taking action to change the quality of their lives through the inner work and less through the outside influences, which are absolutely there, which do affect each and every one of us, even the most Zen of us. And I can be really Zen, but sometimes I'm totally not. That's what's being human. See you soon. And have a beautiful walk of your path. Like, subscribe, and share.